What's up YouTube? Zombiekillerhere here, doing a tutorial, kind of like a tutorial video for the banking minigame to try to help you understand a lot of the systems, because if you don't fully understand it, you could end up wasting time and money in this game, which if you did understand some systems, you could make a lot of money quickly and beat this minigame pretty quickly. So I'm going to go over quite a bit of the stuff. So I'm going to start off first with employees. Each employee has a rating. If you have the special deluxe edition DLC for the management, these management guys are very powerful, and you can easily tear apart the entire game with just these guys and not have to worry about hiring anybody else. So if you did go the DLC route, use the DLC characters. They're quite game-breakingly powerful. I easily tore apart the game without knowing what I was doing half the game. So it definitely is good. And when I say half the game, I'm talking about the business management game, not the actual game. Just the business management section. So yes, these guys are highly recommended. And then after them, all DLC characters have this color, except for her. You will only unlock her if you beat the thing. I'm assuming she's not DLC because she only unlocked after I completely beaten this and became the #1 company. So if you do have access to her without the DLC, she's definitely seemed like she would be a good one. Alright, so then right here is the most rarest, and then the next rarest. You want to try to get, if you don't have DLC characters, you want to try to get these types of characters, because they got huge stat boosts. And then there's also this rarity, which is the next one. You can know by the color in the background. And then this is the weakest rarity. You want to try to make sure that you get ones that best suit you for what you need. When you're playing, we'll go to properties real quick and go to this one. This is the default property. When you're playing, there we go. I'm gonna just completely remove you, and as you see, my stats for this is not good enough. If you look down at the bottom left, I need more of the present, more of the heart, and more of the metal, aka product, service, and notability. So you want to try to choose which characters would best suit that. If they go past the line, like you see any of these doing, you're good.
I'll work my ass off.
So we'll put him there and we're good. He can successfully run building. Now when you're doing this, do make sure that you look at leader, member, and member, and see which stat the two members are missing. For example, with this, only the leader has service, the other one's product and notability. So you want to make sure that you got somebody that can perform service good enough that it will pass, otherwise you won't fully have it up and running. And if you're just a little bit short on it, you're still good. You can still run the business. Like for example, I'll go ahead and take this guy off. I'm just a little bit short, but as you see, I still get profit because I'm close enough. But you will be penalized money based off of how far off you was. I forgot who I had there, but oh well. That's good enough to pass. So, you want to make sure that you keep an eye on those stats when hiring. You want people that are very good in particular fields or good in multiple fields. For example, he's a very good in all fields type character. You can easily put him as leader in some places, and he could manage a company by himself a lot of times, as long as it's not too much requirement on the company. While she focuses more on the present, which is, the service. She focuses more on kindness. He's more for notability, so just keep that in mind when you're getting characters. These two you can never fire from your job. They have to stay, so might as well use them early on if you need them. So mostly try to avoid bronze character, because she's the only one that's really worth it, which you start out with her. But everybody else is just so low stats that you're better off trying to get this rarity or higher. It's highly recommended for the higher rarity, which is this one and this rarity, or DLC if you have DLC. DLC characters, like I said, can easily win this by themselves. They have such high stats that they're usually very good. But anyway, so you just want to make sure that you hire where the presents are good. Now, if you look at the character, you'll see, for example, over near where the present is, a little bit over to the right, you'll see charisma. This will be how much damage they deal during a meeting, while tenacity is how much health they have during the meeting, and command cost is how much it costs to use their attack during the meeting. I will go over more details about that in just a minute, but I just wanted to point that out. So, as you play, you can go here to upgrade your character. Each character can only be upgraded to a maximum of 30. You start out with a maximum of 5, and this will raise the maximum amount by 5 levels. It will also increase the price of the character, so do keep that in mind. Don't just spam upgrade, otherwise you're gonna end up having to pay a lot of money. But once you get towards end game, like the top 20 or so, you should be able to kind of just freely max out everyone and be fine. I have some of the most expensive units you could possibly get, and I was able to make profits. Of course, some of the DLC characters are quite expensive. And then, unfortunately, with the game, there's a random chance that a character will demand more money or threaten to leave for another company. So that's why some of these characters are over $1 million. But not a big deal. You're still able to make a profit. As you can see, if I won right now, I can easily make 221 profit, even though I gotta pay for these guys that are all working here. I'm paying millions for labor costs, and I still have to pay for employees I don't even use. I'm still paying out millions, but I'm still making so much profit, it's not really a big deal. So, later on, fully upgrade everything. Try to keep these two unupgraded, unless if you truly need them. If you have DLC characters, you won't truly need these guys. You can keep them both at level 5 maximum, and they will be very cheap, which will allow you to focus on money more. Now, if you do get the DLC characters, you can hire them for free, and all you have to do is pay their salary. When you're hiring, you see the contract deposit. That's how much you have to pay to get this character, and then you have to pay his salary afterwards. But DLC characters, their contract is free. So what you should do is look at when you're starting out, look at what you need and only get out the DLC characters that best suits your current need for your buildings. That would be the best way to go about it to be most cost efficient. If you don't have DLC, then just try to get the characters that you need and just slowly get there. But like I said, this can increase what the maximum level is, and with the maximum level increasing, your charisma, your tenacity, your I think your tenacity goes up. I'm not 100% sure about tenacity, but I'm pretty sure it does. But your charisma for sure. Also your present, heart, and metal will go up. I'm going to use those terms because it's just easier than saying exactly what it is. So, here you can pay for level increase. The higher the amount, the more XP you get. So you can easily pay for level 30. When early on, if you do go this route, just don't, like if you only need like 5 XP, just get this instead of buying this, because if you're only a little bit of XP off and you're still like level 5 or level 4, this is more than strong enough to get you up, where this will just be wasting a lot of money. So try to be smart when doing it, but once you have enough money, you can just waste money and get it all set up. But this will help you level up your employees. Now right here is the bonus section of the employees. This will take care of the little if you look right where this guy is, where his arms are, his left arm, you could see a green smiley face. That's his pretty much health when he's working. As you make him work, that will decrease with any character, and with this you can increase the health. I highly recommend just doing the first one. Usually that will be like the cheapest, and just bare max if you want, or alternatively you can push square to auto heal everyone, which will cost you money for everyone, and it'll tell you how much. Unfortunately, I end up going through most of the game without realizing there was auto heal. I think I figured it out within like an hour left to beat it, if that. So yeah, it's definitely something I overlooked. So I do want to make sure I point that out. Now, if you do go for this and becoming number 1, it will take quite a few hours. The fastest way would be the DLC characters. It took me quite a few hours with the DLC characters. If you're going with the, without them, expect to invest even more hours, like probably more than 12 hours or so. Guessing, not actual knowledge. It kinda depends on luck and how smart you purchase, but these guys' stats, it's gonna take a while for them to level up before they become useful. So, you're kinda better off using the DLC characters, but if you don't have the DLC characters, it's gonna take a while. So, just manage your people well, look at what they have. Do not raise up the price unnecessarily. Like, for example, let's say this character I was having hired, and she's perfectly good. She can run a business by herself. She cannot because of her stats, but let's say that she could. Even though she's level 5, there's not really much of a reason to unlock the ability to get her up to 10 if she can run the company by herself. Which, for a better example, probably this guy would be more likely to. Or even better example, let's say this guy. I place him down. He has stats that usually allows him to be able to run companies by himself more often than any other characters. So with him, if I'm able to have it with if I'm able to have him run the business for a cheap enough price and keep the business running, I may not need to upgrade him. I could probably keep him at level 5 or level 10 or so. I don't need to instantly upgrade him to 30 because he can get more XP. So do keep that in mind about the salary cost, because it will definitely help you out. It's all about managing money. But right here you can, take care of your employees and check out their stats. Here you can just buy an employee. So if I want to buy her, I would just hit confirm and she would be added. So next we'll go to the bank area. The debts is where the bank is. You can get out money from these guys if you're really desperate for money. Now, loan shark, apparently you have to be in times of emergencies. I was never qualified enough for this. With the DLC characters, I never got desperate enough, so I haven't really gotten to see what this can do, but given how it is, it would probably give you a pretty good amount of money, but cost you double the amount. So if you got out $1 million, you would have to pay $2 million, given the interest rate. But I can't really comment too much on this, but it's probably a good last resort. Now then, right here is cash advance. Right here has the highest interest rate of 50%, which you have to make over 5 payments, which this is the cheapest category with how much you could take out. You can only take out up to 2 million. As you progress your share price ranking, you will unlock more and more being able to borrow money. But yeah, so this will only allow you up to 2 million. If you need some quick cash, you can easily get it. And then you can, and if you have the money to pay off the loan all in once, you can go back and pay off. And that works for all 3 of these places. Now right here got a 30%, which is pretty good, but it will only allow you to take up to 50 million. Early on, this place is not bad for borrowing money. Towards the end though, 50 million is not really that much. It's enough for maybe upgrade. And then here's the bank. This is where most of your money gonna come from if you need to borrow. It also has the lowest at 5% interest. So if you can help it, I recommend borrowing from the bank more than the money lender or the cash advance. But right here you can get $1 million, and it will cost you an extra total of $5 million to pay off. So you'll be paying $1,500,000. I mean, you'll be paying $1,005,000,000 pretty much to pay it off. This will take out a lot of income each round, so be careful when you use this. And if you combine this with this debt, you're gonna be paying out quite a bit of money each time that you go through, so do keep that in mind. I did manage to run my businesses to where I was not making any profit at all because I owed so much to the debts. So it is possible to overwhelm your current income increase, so do keep that in mind. Of course, once this got done and paid off, which only took like 2-3 times, I think, because they allowed me to keep my money, but up to 5 times, then you can get your money back stable where it's just a bank. Alright, right here is the boardroom. They will give you, like right at the left, you'll see your approval rating. This will be how much health you got when you start the thing. And overall, if your approval rating hits 100%, or if you could get to hit 100% and take out everyone, you will get the best ranking rewards. But you just gotta make sure that's above 50% when everything's said and done. If it's above 50%, you're good, you will pass. If it's below 50%, it was a complete failure, and you will actually lose rating. So having these boosts up is good. And before you do the business meeting, I always recommend going to your employees and just cure all of them. If all employees are happy, you will always get that middle one plus 10. And then as you hoard a lot of money, your net worth will go up, which will allow for that to go up. These can only go up by 10 or down by 10. So with how much I have currently, I would have a 60%. If I had the net worth up, I could get up to 70%, which maximum health is 100%. So, that would help me absorb more hits. Now, right here you can select which characters you want to fight for you. And during the meeting, they will be able to be used on your command and help you beat the shareholders. As you see, the shareholders have different elements. For example, the first guy all the way to the left has a red color. The blue color is effective against red, so you would want somebody with blue to take him out. While the guy next to him is green, so red's good against green, so you would want somebody with the red. And there is no blue, but If there was a guy up there with blue, green would be effective against blue for doing more damage and taking out the opponent. So you want to try to have your employees be cheap enough that you can afford to use, because your resource is limited. At max, you have 100, which this is after you like practically fully level up the entire building. You start out with like 40 or so. So, for example, this guy price to make a move is 14. That's gonna cost a lot. I can only use that a few times compared to somebody like him who is 4. I can spam that more often. And when you use the resources, you have to wait for it to come back in order to, if you use it all, in order to cast. So I would have to wait until I had at least 4 to be able to use this guy attack again. So in that time, you could get damage or, you know, not be able to finish off the opponent. I highly recommend having one of each element that is pretty cheap but has high enough charisma that they will be able to damage. For example, with him, he's 800 charisma, so he'll do 800 damage. He costs 8, compared to her, who costs less, but she only has 390 charisma for 390 attack. They're both in the blue, so I would want one of them, but out of the two, he is definitely going to have more damage for the cost, and the cost is still affordable enough that I can handle it. So he would be better than her in the situations. You know, just play around, make sure that you feel good. Personally, the best 3 characters for each slot, I would say, is her for this one, him for this one, and him for this one. These are, yet again, DLC characters, so if you don't have the DLC, you'll have to decide which ones are the best. But with this team, I was able to easily wipe out the entire business meeting battles, no problem. So these guys are strong enough to just carry you through the entire getting up to first rank. In fact, they're so powerful, I was able to easily beat it without understanding half the system, so they are definitely worth it. And then here you can just add whoever as an additional one. I don't think it really matters who you pick, but I figured, why not? As long as you have 3 good ones, you're good. But one thing that you could do is put somebody who's a little bit more expensive but more damage. Like for example, him, it costs 8 to attack and he has 800 damage. Well, her is 10 for 1000 damage, so I could quickly switch to her for some damage boost. Now the order that you put them in does not matter, but you know, just keep in mind whichever order they're in so that you know, so that you can, you know, counteract fast. Now with properties, at the market you can see properties that are not owned and how much they cost. Now each property will be unupgraded. You'll see the sell value, the little yen sign. That's how many times a property can be upgraded for more money. Then with the present, aka product, next to that, way under word product, you can see how many times you can upgrade the product. Same goes for the service, aka the heart, and the notability, aka the medal. And you'll want to keep in mind of how many times you can upgrade these. you want to make sure that you upgrade the sell value to what you can actually do. For example, if you max out the sell value, but you don't have any employees who can get the business up and running, like let's say for example, right here, let's say I did not have this guy, and we're gonna pretend like I don't have the other guys too, but I don't feel like hunting them down. I know that character good enough that I know he was working there. So let's say my stats are a little bit lower to where I was not making profit. Alright, if you're at that point, well actually, I should probably just take them out. I think I can remember them. So as you see, right here I'm not making any profit. By increasing my product, service, and notability, I would probably get. So let's equip her. And for here, we'll equip him. As you see, let's see. We'll equip her. Alright. We'll remove him. Well, I'm still making profit because my characters are quite powerful. But let's say that these guys was not strong enough. They're not close to. Actually, wait. I know what I'm just doing wrong. Let me put the chicken here. Her here. I'm still making a profit. I got in so good, I can make a profit off of this. But as you see, this is pretty far off, so I would not be able to make that much of a profit, because without upgrading my building resources. So I would want to make sure I upgrade my resources to go with the notability. But anyways, I think I had you working here.
I'll work until I'm
There we go. Everybody's good enough. So yeah, just make sure that you don't upgrade the sell value too high where you can't use the product. One thing I recommend, figure out what employees you want to put there, and then go to upgrade, and if you see that the next level of upgrade with the money is more than what you can do with stats, go down, upgrade the stats, and then go back up, upgrade it, and rinse and repeat until you max out the stats to the place that you want. Alright, so right here, like I said, you can upgrade the stats of the building. Here you can assign whoever you want to work, and here you can sell a property. As you see, I could sell this for this much, and then I would be able to buy any property from this market plus the property I sold, and we'll keep track of how much the property was worth. And then also here you can push square to switch between the things without needing to back out. So right here, property trade, employee assignment, and then property improvement to upgrade. This was one of the last few things I've realized you can actually do. I was not paying much attention to that. So, wanted to make sure I point that out. And, just get properties that look good for you. So, we're gonna take out a loan of 2 million. So, as you see, it says that I owe money. And it's gonna take a while to pay that off. And then we're gonna take a loan from this, and a loan from this. So as you see, I got a huge boost to my income, so I could buy whatever I need. But now I'm deeply in debt. I can go to these places and just pay off the debt. And it's cheaper if you pay off the debt as soon as possible instead of just letting it go. So as you see right here, I could pay $2 million to pay it off. Well, if I didn't do that, I would end up paying $2,200,000. Which we're gonna go ahead and take a debt on here, so that I can show you the next thing. Now I'm gonna show you the open business section, which I wanted to make sure I had debt out.
We got a job to do.
So your businesses will show up there in whichever order they're bought at, and then your guys will just run through this to make money.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can push R2 to make it even faster, and as they go through, they'll make money up to this level. The red line is how much you're paying for the employees, and then past that, that's how much profit you made. So right here, you can see how much money I made. And then because I had a loan out, I had to pay that $600,000 for the loan. And then because I have people that are not working, I had to pay the $9 million. Which if I had them working, I would still have to pay that amount. So do keep that in mind. And then I can see that it costs 10 million extra wasted income that I cannot access. And then if you look at the labor costs, you can see how much I'm paying for the characters. At the very top, you can see I'm paying 1 million. And the property only made 2 million because I had to pay him the 1 million.
Nice. You guys did great out there.
And then here you can see who was the best earner at the time. And then you can see your rank and try to climb up to the top. You might get a small 1 rank jump depending on how well you do. And then here, something random will
The
happen,
shareholders meeting is about to begin.
but we'll ignore that. Now we're going to go ahead and pay off our debt, so that way we don't owe them anymore. And then right here at the employee, one thing I forgot to mention, you can go here to fire the employee. If you fire them, you won't have to pay the salary for them, so it would not be excess waste salary. I think with all these employees, they will eventually show back up, because I have fired her, and then the story did have me also went with a tutorial fire where are they? I think they cycled out. I think this randomizes what it will give you every now and then. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I fired her, and as you see, I can fire her back. She'll be the same level and everything. So you can still buy back employees that you want to get rid of, but personally, I would try to keep, really strong, good employees. But if you find that you're spending too much on employees and you're not putting them to use, you can fire them. Like, I could fire a lot of these employees and save me like almost 10 million, but I kind of like having all the employees, so that's why I'm doing it. But if you're trying to rise up in the rank, you want to try to keep your cost for employees kind of low, compared to your business owning. But you do also want to have employees that are very good for fields. Like, if I need notoriety, aka metal, I would need this guy. So even if I don't have a business right now that can really use him, later on down the road, I might have a business that I really need him for. I just don't have enough notoriety. So, you know, play with that however you want. I have not sold any of the DLC characters to know if they do actually pop back up if you sell them. Or fire them, I mean, not sell. Because it's fire. But, I would assume that they do, but I never wanted to take the chance, and they're always some of the best characters, so I refuse to lay off any of them. But with all the other characters, I do know they will pop back up sooner or later, but it seems random what you'll get. So here you can customize what you got to bring into the fight. Like I said, you can always check how well you're doing. Right now, my stats are quite bad. Not a big deal. I'll be able to easily win this because the DLC characters are just too strong. So I'll tear apart this with ease, but you know, you will want to keep in mind those stats. So once you go to the share meeting, you'll start the fight, and after I think 4 or 5 money collecting for the company, they'll warn you right before. They'll tell you shareholder meeting is about to start, which means that's the last time that you can warn the company before the shareholding meeting. But when you do the shareholding meeting, this is where you'll actually get money that you can use for your character. So the money that you get in here, the management funds, you cannot use that for your main character outside of this business thing. And you can't put your money outside of this business thing into this company. But if you win a management meeting and do good, you will get money. The higher your rank, the more money. Once you're number 1, you'll get 3 million per win. So you can really make a lot of money off of this and get huge profits. I plan on spamming this a lot after I'm done with this tutorial to get me some very overpowered stuff.
If you have any questions,
so as you see, right, the red bar shows, which I'm gonna go here because he's getting mad. Since it's red, I can use blue to destroy it. And then since he's green, I want to use red against him. And then he has a blue defense, so you would do green, and then we'll do red against him. And as you see, the bar drains when you do it. Now, if you take a look, she has less health than the rest. So, if you don't have as powerful guys, which we're going to use red to break this, you're definitely going to want to single out the weaker ones.
please raise your hand if you have a question.
And then, if you over time this will fill up, and there's 3 levels of it. The first level will do 50 damage to all shareholders, while this one will do 100 damage. And it will also prevent them from being able to attack for a short time. And it kind of heals some of your party members. And then this will deal huge damage. I'll try to see if I can afford this to actually showcase to you. But this, do not really rely on using. You're better off using this or this. But because by the time you get this up, you're pretty much almost done. Less than 30 seconds left usually. But it will deal huge damage to all the shield holders and prevent all action for a short time, and will heal your allies. As you see down the bottom right, you can see the little blue gem, the green gem, and the yellow gem. When the gems light up, that will mean that you have that level that you can use. When you use these, it will drain however the amount is. So level 1 should drain 1, I believe. 2 would drain 2, 3 would drain all of it. And as you see down at the bottom, for the characters, you can see the number 4 for the guy right in between 2 and 3. That's how much I would pay for him. While the persuasiveness would be how much damage he does. And he's a red element, so he'll do more damage to green. If you look at the bottom left, you can see your support, your health rating. You want that above 50. Way above that, you can look at a cheat sheet for who's weak against what. And down at the bottom middle, you can see that's how much command I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to wipe out another person. As you take out the opponent, this bar will fill up quicker.
I have a strategy.
So we're gonna do green with this argument, and then red. And as you keep on hitting them with the weakness, you will actually increase the damage that you deal.
Questions? This
Now hold on. I got some thoughts on that.
As you see, that does less damage because
please raise
it's
your hand
weaker.
if you have a question.
Now we're gonna let the bar fill up, and as you see, I don't have much time by the time I can do this. But as you see, this is what the political power she is.
Please accept my most apology.
Please raise
I won't stand.
Now hold on.
Time to shut up.
But as you see, by the time you use that, it's pretty much you're desperate.
That concludes our periodic shareholder
So
meeting.
personally, just use rank 1 or 2.
Everybody, this calls for a celebration.
Otherwise, you're gonna be almost dead when you use
Everybody,
it.
thank you. The meeting went great.
But as you see, the meeting went well. The employees that you have hired that will fight for you for the meeting would gain XP. And my approval rating is 100%, so I would get more of a rank up, which would allow me to climb the ladder faster. And then as you see, I got 3 million for completing this, which now puts the amount of money I'm carrying on my actual character at 31 million. Which will go ahead, and then you just run your businesses and move on. As you hit different rankings, you'll start out at like 151 or 150, and then you'll have to work your way up to the top 100, the top 50, the top 20, the top 10, and then number 1. As you reach those milestones, you unlock new businesses that are worth more. So, as you progress, you'll unlock more and more places. So, sometimes it might be good to get rid of a property. Like, let's say I had this upgrade at the beginning. It's a very good early game property, like towards the very beginning. But once I unlocked, let's say, this stuff, it's better off to get rid of that property so I can get this. You want to try to sell properties that are lower value while still making sure that you can run everything, including the new properties that you purchase. If a property's a little bit lower value than what you're trying to upgrade to, like let's say for example, right here I have a property that's worth 44 million by itself. Let's say I had this one in place instead. It would be more worth it to keep this one than to upgrade to the 44 million if I did not have the people to run the 44 million, but I did have the people to run the 41 million. So you do want to keep that in mind. Can you actually use the next business that you're upgrading to efficiently? If you can't, you're better off keeping what you're efficient. Now, if you had this one, even at running very efficiently and efficiently, you should still be able to make more of a profit, so it's an easy trade. But I think this will give you pretty much a good idea of the business thing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll try to answer them, but I think this is enough for a detailed tutorial on the business thing. I wanted to try to make sure I covered just about everything. But as you see, on my actual character, I have 31 million, because I just got 3 million extra. And with this amount of money, this is how much I got pretty much since the start of the business. You know, rising up from very bottom to very top rank, and then also trying to make sure I max out my businesses, I managed to make 31 million. It took quite a few hours to get here, but you'll get there. Well, I can't do it while I'm inside the building. So I'm going to leave this building real quick. Now, with this business management game, it will unlock instantly throughout the story. When you see the character asking for help running a business, you'll have access to it. It will be in chapter 5 that you unlock it, but I'll try not to spoil anything past that. But once you hit chapter 5, you'll unlock it. But right here is the business that you move to. You'll start out right here with this business, and you'll always have to go here to in order to do the business minigame. Then once you get told to move, your characters will move way over here to where we're currently at. Be careful out here, because this is a high level area where most of your characters, most of the enemies will be level 23, so they can do a lot of damage. So do make sure that you're careful when running through here. If you're very under level for these guys, they will wipe you out in like no time flat. So do be careful when you're going through there. So if you end up, being like level 10 or so, and you complete the business management game to where you move over here, you will be risking your life trying to do this. But over here will be a convenience store that you can put in the money that you get from business management, and right here, which is right across from where you start out with the homeless place, is where you can put money in, which has an ATM. So we're going to go ahead and go to the ATM right now. Now I'm gonna pretend like my level is a lot lower, and I'll try to get there without fighting that much. So, which if you see these, you're better off just grabbing. But I could not get out of there fast enough.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, as you see, my over-leveled guys, so you'll get to see exactly how difficult this area is.
Don't get cocky.
I guess.
Watch this.
Alright, I'm gonna focus on him.
Get serious.
Alright,
You wanna fight?
she don't have much that she can do.
Don't get cocky. You're in it now.
She's actually not really that great right now, because I have yet to do anything to really upgrade her. Wow, that costs a lot. You will unlock this laser attack when you fully complete it, but it costs 2 million.
You wanna fight?
You sure you want to get hurt?
Alright,
Take your best shot. Come on now. I'm going for the
beat them with the money.
Let's go.
You will unlock these money attacks as you complete the business management.
You sure you can beat me?
Let's see.
You wanna fight?
But as you see, these guys are strong enough that even though I'm over level and I can pretty much take care of any enemies that are not these enemies with ease, I still gotta be careful and watch myself. So
I can still fight.
we're gonna heal her.
Two. Feel better already? It's go time.
Okay.
Alright.
I wouldn't underestimate me.
There we go. Another guy taken care of.
Weak.
You sure you want to get
But
hurt?
you'll earn this attack and this attack.
You sure you can beat me?
Take all the other attacks anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and use this.
Check this out.
This is actually quite a good ability.
I wouldn't
Quite
underestimate
powerful.
I'm up.
There we go. Wow, this money stack ability from business management is good. Oh, great.
You're in it now. Don't get cocky. Let's go. Have fun with this.
Alright, let's go ahead and heal.
I'll get it. You wanna go?
And we'll see if we can resurrect her.
Weak.
Oh wait, I don't have resurrection.
Come on now.
Well, time to beat up more people with my money. This money ability is definitely useful.
I'm going for the next one. Let's go. You wanna fight?
Alright,
Let's go.
we're going to use the DLC move to restore health. And there we go, done.
We got through it. I'm getting
Yeah, I still
stronger.
leveled up. Despite the fact that she's out. I'll keep her there. But yeah, you want to try to avoid those fights because, as you've seen, even with the amount of power I have, it took a lot just to win those fights.